The hero of today's video, Sergey Novikov, is a renowned and exceptional Soviet athlete, the 1976 Olympic judo champion, and a multiple-time winner and medalist of various international and national tournaments in both judo and sambo. Throughout his athletic career, foreign media often wrote about him with admiration, even calling Novikov a Russian miracle. In his judo, one could observe all the elements that make us love this sport: flawless technical precision, lightning-fast and mesmerizing throws, calculated composure. Thanks to this combination, Sergey Novikov was universally acknowledged as the most powerful and technically gifted judoka of his time. Sergey Novikov was born on December 15, 1949 in Moscow. He began training in sambo at the age of 14, after his family moved to Kyiv, following the retirement of his father, a military officer. There, he joined the section under the guidance of honored USSR coach Yaroslav Ivanovich Voloshychuk. Voloshychuk later recalled, "I immediately saw he was a strong guy, solid build, 185 centimeters tall, and that was at just 14. But he seemed shy, perhaps overly reserved. Yet I soon realized this first impression was misleading. What looked like shyness was actually external restraint, beneath which hid determination, exceptional reflexes, and courage." After only 3 months of training, 15-year-old Sergey won the Ukr-Soviet Dynamo Youth Championship. His wise coach recognized the potential he had and didn't rush to mold the teenager into a stereotypical athlete. Voloshychuk saw that Sergey, with his long legs and natural sharpness, was more suited to foot techniques. He also understood that in the heavyweight division, success required strength and athleticism. Thus, Novikov engaged in intense weight training to build the necessary power to support his refined technique. In 1971, the Sambo Spartakiad of the Peoples of the Soviet Union was held in Moscow. Competing in the up to 100 kilograms weight class, the young representative of the Ukrainian national team, Sergey Novikov, confidently advanced to the finals. There, he faced international master of sport and seasoned Muscovite, Vladimir Tretiakov, an experienced and cunning wrestler. In the opening minutes, Tretiakov repeatedly caught Sergey's leg with subtle sweeps and earned 2 points. But Novikov remained unshaken, moving across the mat calmly and steadily, attempting to unbalance his opponent with methodical handwork. Then, in the final minute, their movements synchronized. Novikov sensed the perfect moment, launched into a back trip, and brought Tretiakov down on his back. A perfect throw. The match was over. Amazingly, the next day, this scenario played out again in the final of the Soviet Championship. This time, however, Novikov executed a front trip instead of a back one, again in the final seconds. Wrestling experts highlighted his unique talent, an impeccable sense of timing, and an Olympic-level cool-headedness that allowed him to patiently wait for the right moment to strike. There are moments in life that etch themselves into memory and forever divide time into before and after. The final match of the 1976 Montreal Olympics was such a moment. Here's how Sergey Novikov recalled it. "The final split my life into everything that came before and everything that followed. All that came before was just a path to victory." The favorite of the games was Japan's 1975 world champion Sumio Endo. Drawn to face each other in the first round, Novikov described it as his toughest Olympic match. Endo failed to land a single throw, while Novikov secured 2 holds and ultimately triumphed. Before reaching the final, he fought 3 more opponents: the enormous Park Jong-kir of North Korea, 210 centimeters tall and over 165 kilograms, strong Yugoslavian Kovacevic, and Englishman Remfry, all of whom he had faced in earlier competitions and knew well. In contrast, his final opponent, West German Gunther Nierenmauter, was unfamiliar. That may have worked in Novikov's favor. The final lasted only 44 seconds, ending with a clean throw and victory. The Soviet Union achieved a dominant team victory at those Olympics, winning 125 medals in total, 49 of which were gold. A sixth sense helps Novikov defeat giants much stronger than him, wrote Sovietsky Sport in the late 1970s. Soviet journalists viewed him as a chess master on the tatami, always calculating the optimal sequence of moves. Novikov once said, "When I step onto the tatami, I try to read my opponent's psychological state. I look into his eyes and analyze what he's feeling at that moment. Every little detail matters." Four years after his Olympic triumph, Sergey Novikov retired from competition. Yet even during that final stretch of his career, he delivered numerous memorable performances that still resonate with judo aficionados. Among Novikov's most memorable matches after his Olympic success was a bout at the Spartakiad of the Peoples of the USSR against three-time European champion Alexei Turin, a 160-kilogram, 2-meter-tall powerhouse. Turin was so strong, he once tore the back of an opponent's kimono. But this was the mountain Novikov had to conquer. Turin, relying on his size, attacked directly, attempting a double-leg takedown from a left stance. Novikov, however, avoided the leg, slipped underneath, and threw the massive opponent squarely onto his back. Moments later, the match was over. Sergey Novikov decided to retire in 1980 and shifted his focus to public service, closely tied to sports. After leaving professional competition, he made it his mission to promote healthy lifestyles and encourage youth participation in sports. On April 16, 2021, Sergey Novikov passed away. He was a man who left an indelible mark on the history of judo and sambo. Through his worldview and the qualities he embodied, discipline, resilience, integrity, he inspired others. His life proved that the impossible can indeed be possible. His victories significantly contributed to building a strong sports culture in the Soviet Union, encouraging countless young boys and girls to believe in themselves and aim for the highest achievements.